Now let us see how we can graph histogram and box plot with RStudio. Now the tool that we shall use to do this graphing is called ggplot2. Now we can install ggplot as a separate feature, but ggplot2 is part of the packages that are contained in this group of packages called tidyverse, and you can install all the packages in tidyverse by using a single command, this given by this, and I'll let you read it instead of me reading it. So here I opened a new file of RStudio on my computer that runs on Windows 11, and I'm going to install this package tidyverse, and I'm using the script region to do that. So here I will have to press the control key and then press enter. So here I already have this package in there. I just did that again to demonstrate it to you. Just trying to rush, I'm sorry. Okay, and so it's already in here. Okay, so the package is installed. All right, and I did that through a script. You could do that through this console here if you wanted. Now that I have installed this tidyverse, every time I want to work with it, I'll have to recall the library. And again, as I said, since I'm working with RScript, I have to press Control Enter here. Okay, so it has brought in ggplot2 for me. That's all I'm interested in. We'll talk about these conflicts later, but at the moment, they're no problem for us. Now I'm going to import data here. So I'm going to go to import dataset, and I'm pulling in an Excel file. All right. And I'm putting all my R work as a beginner as in one folder, and later on I'm going to talk more about it. So here we are. Okay. And then I'm going to ask it to import it all, and it's done, I think. Okay. All right, so here I have all my data pulled up, okay? So now say, there are various variables here, and say I'm interested in a variable, say this one, points PPG or points per game, and this was the data for. So that is, we are looking at this data from the Excel sheet named MBA. So let's take a quick look at that sheet in case, and if you are not really used to working with Excel, no big deal, okay? So here is the Excel data file, and you can see it has 3 different sheets, okay? And this is the sheet which is 2021 data, as you can see here. And what I want to do is that I want to look at this particular column, that is points per game data. I'm not going to rush it anymore because you can always fast forward me. All right. So this is the points per game. Okay. Now, the way this was pulled up by R was that it just went ahead and it was reading an Excel file, okay? And then we have named NBA the data as, it just renames it as NBA. And what we want to do is that we want to look at a particular column in this particular sheet, okay? And then want to graph it. So I should have done graphing, but I'm doing too many things in one. So forgive me. And as I said, you always have option to fast forward me. All right. So let's just get to the point, and let's just keep it in here because this is a way that we can rename, and this will save time as well. Now to get to our data sheet, let's go back to our script. Okay. And what we are going to do is, I'm just learning it, all right? So I'm saying I'm going to name another variable called NBA21, okay? And I'm going to pick up a particular sheet from this file. So I already wrote all that beforehand, okay? And here I have done this. I have put the data range because that data in that sheet, come on, okay, in that sheet ranges from a here from this particular cell all the way to this one, or you don't have to go in those details. If you're reading the script, you will know, and I'll put this script in the description area. Okay, so let me just go back to R. Okay, so I did that, and so what it will do is that it will just pull up that particular sheet for us. Okay, so here we are, and I will press Control Enter. Okay, so it pulled it up, and we have a new variable now, NBA 21. Okay, and then I want to get my column. All right, that points per game, and it's already there. Remember, it's in here, but I just want to shorten the name, the points per game, instead of typing it again and again. So I'm just going to copy it and just going to give it a shorter name. So let's just go to the script again. So it is not necessary to do it, but I'm just doing it just to make life easier later on. I'm naming a new column, PPG, and that is from this folder, this particular sheet from Excel file, NBA21, and this $sign is to identify the column that I want, and I'm renaming this particular name from the column to PPG, or points per game. Okay. Now to execute it, you have to press Control Enter. So we have PPG variable ready. Now we want to make a histogram. So what I'm going to do is this. First, let's just go ahead, and in order to use the ggplot, let me write the whole command. I wrote it on a different page because I make too many typing mistakes. So now I am making this variable ppgh, h for histogram. So what I'm doing is this. Look here. There is one part which is ggplot, and this arrow indicates that this is what I'm doing, or this is the name of my histogram. So NBA 21, okay, is the sheet that we have our column in, and this AES is for axis, and I'm just putting one axis here because I'm making only one histogram. It's called X equals PPG, or points per game. And then here I'm adding, now I'm asking it to add histogram to it. So let's just add a plain and simple histogram, and I'm going to press Control Enter. Okay, and no histogram because my histogram is called PPGH. Okay, so now I wrote PPGH, and then I press Control Enter, and here is a histogram. Now you want to look at it like, or want a more aesthetically looking histogram, I'll let you play with this on your own time. All right, it's skewed to the right. You can see that. But anyways, let's just go towards the procedural part first. Okay. So let us modify this PPGH. So what I'm doing is that everything else is the same this far, and I kept the name same, so the earlier name gets overwritten. All right, and what I did was that I filled in the properties inside here in the input, that the color is white and the fill is blue, so all these bars will be colored blue now. So let's do Control Enter, and then if we put our PPGH in now here, okay, it shall show us a newer histogram, and here it is. So this is the newer histogram, and if you want, you just can go ahead and modify the box width and everything. So we want to modify the bin width here. So all I will do is this, that I'll just say here that the bin width is, I didn't write that before, and anyways, so the bin width is 2. Okay, then I press Control Enter. Okay, and if I do this, PPGH, Control Enter, you can see that I have a histogram with different width, or bin width, or bar width. Okay, I'll let you play with these properties at your own time. Now let us make a box plot of the same column. So I'm going to call it PPGB, points per game box plot. And all that I have to do is, instead of histogram, I'll give it a box plot to make. So say Control Enter, and let's ask it for my PPGB. And here's a box plot here. All right. And we'll talk about the properties later, but you can see this box plot here. So now what I want to do is this, that we got point per games here, points per game here. Then I want to go to the data for 2022 and want to compare the points per game from that year to this year, and then also to this year. Here it is, points per game. Okay, so let's see how we can make multiple box plots for different columns, and again getting the sheets getting the columns out of different sheets in the same Excel file. Okay. Now remember that we had done this, that we had taken just one sheet out of that Excel file, okay, and we had named that sheet as the variable NBA21. Now we are going to do that with all the three sheets because we want the columns from those sheets. So I'm going to just repeat the NBA21. You don't have to, but I just did, and just wanted to explain to you this. Here, the data ranged up to a different cell. So the cells are different here and here also. It just depends on how the data were entered in those three different sheets. As you can see here, which year do I have? Here I have 2023. So here we start at A1, while if you go to 2022, this whole row 1 is a different entity and we are starting at A2. Okay, so that's why you see all the different names here. Don't forget to say Control Enter when you execute this. So all the data should be in here. Okay, and now what we want to do is that we want to make side-by-side box plots of those three different columns from the three different sheets that we just read. Now, in order to stack all the data for the players with the years, we are going to use a feature called tibble. And tibble, you can just go ahead and if you do this $tibble in this console, it will explain to you what tibble is as a data frame. And then what we will do is this, that we will use this bind rows, okay, for all the tables. So what did I do? So we are going to bind all the tables by doing this. I put year 2021 because year equals 2021, and then we did this for the data points per game is this, the way we named it before. All right, and in here were the original names in the sheets. Okay, and in the 2023 I shall post the data on our course page. All right, and you will see for 2023 the way we imported the data, it wasn't named as this. Okay, so anyways, so we got all those columns stacked together now. So again, from the script page, I'm saying Control Enter. And now the trouble is that we see an error, and we did define NBA 22 and it could not find it because I'm just so new to R. Remember, I put the Control Enter here. So what was the last thing that I did? I made a box plot, right? Okay. So from here, let me just do this here. Just highlight everything so that everything is executed. So if I say Control Enter now, yes, so everything is executed. So you can see it can read everything that we asked it to do. And now what we are going to do is this, that PPG MB for PPG multiple box plots. And then we are going to use ggplot here to plot our multiple box plots. And so the way we will do that is this, that let me just put the command in and I'll place a copy of all these in the description area. So you can see that what I did was this, that for ggplot I don't have to say data equals all the time. All right, so I got my PPG table here. And for the axes, what I am saying is that take Y as points per game, because we are going to make vertical box plots, and X is year. Okay, and then we are just going to ask it for box plot from ggplot2, and geom is the name for that. So let me say control enter, and what else? No box plot, because I have to say what, ppg, then underscore MB. So we got the box plots, and here we have the years, and here we have points per game, and we can just write a comparison about the 3 years. All right, 2021, 2022, and 2023. So hope it works out for all of you. All right. So now we are going to do this. Say for example, so we are going to work with this data, which I pulled from Excel, and here is all, like you may see that these are all the same because these are the historical estimates, and that's for 700 AD, and the country had different boundaries and all those. But let me just go to this, that what I want to make is say a line plot, all right, from this data using R instead of Excel, and Excel is doing a good job. And for the negative part, it just puts on the left hand side, and here it's horizontal. So we are not going to look at these particular years. Okay, and also we shall modify our vertical axis because it will get into like multi-millions and maybe even over a billion for some countries. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So this has got a line, this is called a line plot in Excel. So we'll see how we can make it in R, and by doing this, filtering the data, because what we want to do is say we want to start from 1950 or 1960, since when the estimates are kind of a little more reliable. Okay, so now I took a break and before I finish making it, so I started R again. So I will just do this, that is reload my library tidyverse. So it's already in there, looks like, but anyways. So now I'm going to open my no, sorry, I'm going to import the Excel file here. We are working with Excel datasets. Import dataset from Excel. I'll browse, and they're all in just one directory here for me as a beginner. So I'll pull up that data, population BC, and then ask it to import it. So here it is, all right. And it did this, that is, it's calling population since BC. So that's what we are going to, or that's how we are going to read this data set as. Okay, so let's go back to our script. So remember, our objective now is to create the line plot for each country since the year 1950, or to be able to do that. So what we are going to do is this, that let's just create a function. For instance, just call it plot country. Okay, and then that will be what? Here we will just make it into a function of who? A function of country. So the input will be a country, and then what we are doing is, let's just start with this, and we will close it when we are done creating this function. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to filter this data set. All right, so filter population since BC, and remember this, that we called our sorry, not this, yeah, here entity are the countries. So that's what we are going to do here, that let me change it to country. I don't know why I wrote countries here. And we want year greater than or equal to 1950, and our years less than or equal to 2021. That's the last one anyways. Okay, so let me come down to the second line here, and let's go ahead and rename this as simply population. So we will do that. So let me come back here. So what we are doing now is that we just, we are looking at this pop, right, the filtered data, and we are renaming the column population historical estimates as population. Okay, so once we do that, let's go to the second line. Okay, and now what we will do is that we will bring our ggplot to create this function that will plot. We give a country as an input, and it will plot the population as a line plot. Okay, so now we are bringing that ggplot feature, and here is the population, our like data set, and then we are defining the axes, x as year and y as the population, and I divided it by million, okay, because otherwise it was going to be just too big a line. Okay, and I put the group as entity, and the colors are going to change according to the entity if we are making it for multiple countries. All right, and line width 2 means the lines will be wider. Okay, and then we are going to label. First of all, we are making those plots like black and white, and Y label is population in millions. All right, so we got all that. So here our function is created. Let me hope that, yes, so everything is correct so far. So say for example, I decide to plot the population of Spain using this plot country feature. So all I have to do is say plot country and give Spain as input, and then we will say control enter, and here is population of Spain. I mean, you can see it's been increasing like this. We can discuss it later. First, we are just going to look at the plotting procedure, and I can graph multiple countries. So for instance, I may graph two neighbors, say China, okay, India, all right. And that's how they are. We have to make sure that they're entered like with these names in the column. So once I say control enter, okay, it did not recognize India, so I'm new to RU. So here, now I'm combining the two. So we have to put this C before we are writing multiple countries, okay? And say control enter now, and we have China and India in the same window, and you can see India was expected to surpass China, all right, after 2021, and it already has, okay? And then let us keep on having fun. Say we plot these four countries that are around each other, and you can see that Japan and Russia, okay, here is Russia. Well, they have their population declining, and here are South Korea and North Korea in magenta and green. Oh, I'll let you play with this. All right. So hope this also works for you.